Islam, Mr. Elon Musk. Excuse me. It is November 22nd, 2023. I'm Rhonda Arrington-Bey, and I'm still at formerly Extended Stay America, um, now called Admiral Suites, room 116. So, another thing, another thought actually, I experienced this thought on my own, but I'm among those that can plot thoughts, and then the thought was replicated, and I'm going to use it. So, I'm implementing the thought now. I'm bring forth the action of the thought. Now, is to explain why I, if you hear feedback, that's good. Why I spoke about blood bonding with Sheik Dwayne Buffalo Bay. And the word witch, and I noticed you tweeted about do you believe in God, and or asking pretty sure those that look up to you or follow you have been following you for years, possibly support you for years, possibly, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure, but I want to explain my theory of God, um, blood bonding, and what I experienced with Sheep Dwayne Buffalo Bay, because this is also on my Twitter page. So it's interesting because I think it was this past Sunday, one of the followers that I follow tweeted about the ethers, and so I apologize. For whatever reason, especially like I notice sometimes, not all the time, but when I start to eat more plant-based vegan food that you put in the air fryer, I put in the air fryer. We don't haven't used oil, and I don't know how long it's been that long. It's been possibly it's been a long time. So we used air fryer. I noticed while I was getting a little hair. It's like, and then it's a challenge not to just like keep tugging on it till it comes out. But anyway, last night I did that, and now I have a little like sore here, like a slight. It's enough. Yeah, hopefully it'll go away. I mean, I know it will. My skin it heals pretty fast. Anyway, make a long story short. Um, so it's about, I guess it's about going on 8 a.m. Right now. I didn't look at the time. But um, and I also want to speak about witches, priests, priestesses, and so forth, and my thoughts of esoteric warlocks and so forth, wizards, and the importance of the divine higher self, where I'm at spiritually. Um, Growing up, I guess in my teenage years. Well, first of all, I didn't know that energy can be placed into movies um, to cause you to into your subconscious mind. I had no idea. Um, so into your subconscious mind, where it can actually manipulate your thoughts. So, but through the years, I should say my 20s, definitely my 20s, early 20s, and so forth. I used to middle pretty much when I was able to make a choice of movies. I always liked the vampire movies, but I think a lot of that could have been definitely because of of the manipulation of subconsciously, because we are among um, a species of beings that actually consume babies, eat they do blood rituals and eat children and blood, and some of them are pale skinned, some of them are consider themselves Jews, some of them consider themselves Muslims, some of them consider themselves to be Catholics, some of them consider themselves to be um, um, Buddhists. So what I'm trying to say is, Mr. Elon Musk, in reference to spirituality, I'm able to see plenty of truth. And I'm still, but I stay humble because what I think when you, Morris used to say, and I kept this with me, when you think you know something, it means you know nothing at all, right? Um, so I used to definitely be infatuated with vampire movies, especially the Twilight series and Dracula, and but I just, I mean, I did see on some of the talk shows how some pale skins thought they were vampires, but vampire movies were romanticized, and um, so nonetheless, I'm being honest. I didn't see much wrong in vampire movies, but that doesn't mean subconsciously I wasn't being manipulated like millions when they watch TV and movies on TV, because the TV is a satellite. And how, and so I'll just say that. So, um, when I met Sheik Dwayne Bey, um, we started blood bonding. Um, Blood bonding we did, um, we did it through the cutting of the wrist and golden ropes, and we do this. We did it through the consumption of blood here, and just both of us did this to one another, and it was through love. And I knew it was real in the sacred mental growth, which people call the ethers, because we, when I first met Sheik Dwayne Bey, I'll tell you this. I said this before. In Kennesaw, I might have saw his. I was looking, Kennesaw, Georgia. I might have saw his webpage, a webpage. I might have, but definitely I didn't stay on it. I must have just, because I have a thought that possibly in Lithonia, I was looking to with me, Abbas, and Imani. I was definitely looking to file papers that Washita Moores had given me. So, and I was having a problem with doing so. So I was trying to connect to other Washita Moors to see what they did to file their papers, or other Moors in a temple. And some Moors, when I was telling them what papers I had, they just shut me up. They were like, "You're not going to file them. You just, I apologize, sister. You're not going to file those papers. They're not going to accept the papers." This was in Lithonia, Georgia. But nonetheless, that's when I came across Sheik Dwayne Bey's webpage. And I still didn't believe what the Moors said, because I was still in contact with the Moors that sold me the papers. So I didn't believe what the Moors said in Georgia from the temple, because I was still in contact with the Moors, and they said, you're going to be able to file them. So nonetheless, that's the Moors that sold me the papers to be filed, as more demonstrating and alerting the court system we are Moors. So Um, so that's when I first came across Sheik Dwayne Baffin Bay's page, and I was experiencing even then odd behavior because I had awakened. Okay, so I woke in Kennesaw in 2010. Around 2012, I moved to Lithonia. Okay, stayed there until March of 2013. Lithonia is in Georgia. In March of 2013, I moved to North Carolina. So, when I moved to North Carolina, I moved to one of the homes that the Moors that sold me the papers that they never were filed. I could never, no one, even in North Carolina, the court systems wouldn't. They kept saying they were they were not legal papers to file, so they were never filed. But it's that was the past. That is the past. So anyway, they told me about this home, and I can rent the home from someone in North Carolina. There, I don't know if they were family. It was implied that possibly it could have been a family member of theirs. I'm not sure, but because I wanted to a new start. I had awakened, and I definitely wanted to be. They lived in North Carolina, and I wanted to be more embraced in the more as a more in a Moorish culture because this is definitely was who I am. So, or is who I am. So I before went to, moved back to North Carolina, I um I moved. I mean, I was in Lithonia, and that's when I came across Sheik Dwayne Bafabé's webpage. And I noticed it was odd because I was seeing those that drove around their cars with Jamaican flags. I was pouring libations quite a bit. Before my consciousness changed, Mr. Elon Musk, I never poured libations. I don't even think I knew what pouring libations was. Never really did. I don't even know if I did. I burn incense. I know I burnt candles sometimes, but I don't think I burnt. I might have burnt some incense, but not within the intentions of spirituality. I don't think I did. I don't know, but definitely I was burning candles more. Never went to the magic stores. Um, the that sold crystals. Only brought one crystal, which was an amethyst. But just being there, they had all types of crystals, quartz crystals, you name it, they had it. And then they had the herbs. They had dragon's blood, frankincense. There was one. It was in Roswell, Georgia, um, and I forgot the name of it, but that was the closest one to me. And then there was another one that was further away in Dallas, Georgia. I think it was Dallas, and was further away. It was took more time to get there, but the one that was in Roswell, I mean, they sold everything from Wicca boards to tarot cards. I brought tarot cards from there, from this woman who from New Orleans. Um, she was considered a priestess. Um, they sold anything you pretty much want. I mean, they had Indian or Native American a toxin ornaments, um, books. They had, I mean, pretty much anything in reference to spirituality that you wanted. And when you went in there, because of the crystals and the herbs, you did, and then they had the music playing. Then they had the music playing, so that was even that was anyway I liked going there. Um, I really did. But but there was an energy that I could tell that was following me when I went there, when I went to these magic stores. Some type of low frequency, unclean energy. It's like watching to see what I was doing. Even then, and this is after my consciousness changed. Um, Also, I used to go to the stores in what we would call West End in Georgia, Atlanta. This was in Atlanta, West End, I'm pretty sure. And this was more of this um I guess you want to say esoteric shop um was more um the energy was more towards African or Egyptian um, um, history and herbs, which all the herbs, what they sold sage, but they sold drums. I think the other store sold drums, but it was more, the energy was more towards um, Africa or Yoruba. A lot of African statues, maybe from Nigeria. Um, so, um, um, a lot of information. Um, it was definitely a store where you saw melanated ornaments and melanated or herbs that you would see those from different parts or different countries, different tribes in Africa, the islands, Jamaica, um, maybe the Bahamas, and so forth. So, where the other shop on Roswell and the one in Dallas, it was a variety. And yes, you could have found herbs or books, definitely, because I said I found tarot cards from a melanated woman. They said she made the tarot cards from New Orleans, Louisiana. So it was a variety. Where the shop in Atlanta was more, the energy was more towards melanated from different parts of Africa and the islands and so forth. So that's where I would get. I started to buy books in reference to Yoruba and oh, and then there was these like woods, the pieces of wood that you could chew on. Um, they had different flavors. Oh, I love those pieces. It was so good. I used to like love. It was just like, you know, it was very natural for me. So I would just get you could buy like a bundle and of these long sticks and just chew on them. So nonetheless, let me continue. So I in Lithonia, I borrowed my sister's drum and I would play the drums and I was pouring libations, but nonetheless I would get to a point I was not in that state of mind until my consciousness changed. I would my and it wasn't in a low frequency. So a lot of the vampire movies were low frequency movies. Okay, so they dealt with a lot of human flesh consumption, um, terrorizing the vampire, enjoying the blood while the person is in fear, because the vampire is feeding off of the energy of fear, or the vampire wants to feed off the energy of an innocent not knowing, or someone who's not knowing what's going on. And so the vampire puts a glaze upon the person where the person's like, yeah. Instead of vampires feeding, a person is just laying there like smiling, and then maybe start to feel a sexual feeling. So the sexual feeling of energy the vampire is feeding off of. So it's interesting because now there's documentation of those that do blood rituals and sacrifice children. eat babies, adults, and so forth. That's their goal. So they prolong the torture to feed off. I think they call it adrenaline. The energy, the adrenochrome. I think I'm pronouncing it wrong. Or they feed off other forms of energy. There's a way. One one person actually was demonstrating a video of how these occultists who are on a low frequency target this energy, whether it's fear or whether it's happiness, whether it's sexual. I mean, one video I saw where this person was obviously looked like had been partially cut, and the person should have been in pain. Part of the person meet the side of the her body was like definitely had been cut, but she was obviously in some form of state. If it was a she, which I'm pretty sure these occultists that deal in blood rituals in this manner, that's low frequency, and they like they I'm pretty sure they would like the human. But they definitely have plenty of others that they create for these things. I'm pretty sure they do, and then they teach them, and they just recycle the same energy and do the same steps. So the person, the looked to be like a girl, or was like making noise as though she was enjoying an orgasm, while part of her body had been looked like cut, but she was making noises like she was enjoying it, and it was obviously like something was wrong. And so, knowing that we are among unclean spirits that can engage and cause you to feel happy and you're like, where's this emotion of happiness, or laugh, or even make you feel depressed or angry, or cause you to be tempted to look at pedophilia, porno movies, and so forth. I can see how this definitely could happen, because I mean, if you have unclean spirits rampant, running wild, engaging with young adults, engaging with children, I definitely, and not only so they're engaging, and they are, um, and they're imposing emotions. Then that's how. And so the reality people think they are in is not a real reality, because they're smiling and feeling emotions for reasons that are not real. They're angry for reasons that are not real. When I say real, or in the spirit of truth, they're deceitful without not being in reality or the spirit of truth. They are looking at pornos and enjoying porno flicks out of not in reality, because they're not in the spirit of truth. They are possessed. Islam. Hold on. I might have to stop. I'm going to stop this video. I'll be right back. So this is part one, okay?